My child, before the foundation of the world, I knew you. I saw your face in my mind before time began. I formed your spirit with intention and joy. I called you by name before your parents ever whispered it, and I set you apart before a single breath escaped your lips. I breathed my life into your lungs, not for mediocrity, not for mere existence or quiet survival, but for greatness. Not the shallow, fleeting greatness the world celebrates, but a greatness anchored in my kingdom. A greatness eternal, holy, and unshakable. I etched a divine blueprint onto your heart, one that storms have tried to erase, one that doubts have tried to suppress. Yet through it all, my plan has remained steady. My hand has never let go. I am your father. I do not forget. I do not change. I do not misplace those I love. You are not an accident. You are not invisible. You are mine, and I have chosen you for more. I have chosen you to rise, to reflect my glory, to stand tall even in the face of adversity. And today, I speak directly to your spirit. I am calling you to prepare. Prepare not with trembling, but with trust. Prepare not by striving, but by surrendering. Prepare not by clinging to your own strength, but by leaning fully into mine. Greatness begins not with doing, but with becoming. It begins when you allow me to reshape your thinking, to awaken your spirit, and to fill your heart with my fire. Let us walk this journey hand in hand. Let us step into the sacred training ground of the Spirit, where the seeds of eternity are planted and the weapons of destiny are forged. What I have for you is not ordinary. It is not temporary. It is holy. It is weighty. It is world-shaking. You were never meant to live beneath the weight of fear or to cower under the burden of shame. You were never designed to think small, dream low, or settle quietly. You were made to walk in my light, to carry my fire, and to move forward with purpose. And I, your God, am walking beside you every step of the way. Chapter 1. The wilderness is where I train my warriors. You ask me why life feels barren, why the waiting seems endless, why the silence screams louder than my voice. You wonder where I am in the stillness, where I am in the shadows. But do not mistake silence for absence. Do not mistake stillness for punishment. I am a father who never leaves his child unattended. I led my servant Moses into the wilderness not to destroy him, but to build him. I took my son Jesus into the wilderness before I revealed him to the world. Why? Because the wilderness is where I strip away the noise of the world, where I confront the false identities you've carried, and where I teach you to hear only me. It is the place of transformation, the sacred classroom where my voice grows louder and clearer. In this season, you are not being punished, you are being prepared. Though it may feel like everything familiar is being stripped away, it is my hand that is shaping you. I am removing distractions that once comforted but now hinder. I am burning away impurities that cloud your vision and dull your sensitivity to my presence. I am teaching you what it means to lean on me completely, not as a last resort, but as your first and only source. I am pruning back what you thought you needed, so that only what is holy and essential remains. Greatness cannot be born in comfort. It is born in fire. It is born in stillness. It is born in moments when all you can do is trust, when the world offers no answers and your soul cries out for more. In the silence, I am sharpening your discernment like a blade in my hand, making you keen and precise. In the obscurity, I am building your character like a craftsman forming something rare and enduring. In the dryness, I am proving your faith, not for my benefit, but for yours. that you may see with your own eyes what I have seen in you from the beginning. Do not despise this season. Though it may feel lonely, it is not void of purpose. Though the path ahead may be hidden, every step is covered in my wisdom, timed perfectly in my eternal plan. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being led purposefully. The stillness you feel is not abandonment. It is the sacred pause before divine acceleration. I am not wasting a single second. Every tear you've cried, every prayer whispered into the seeming void, every moment you choose me over the easy way, I see it all. I gather those tears like precious oil. I bottle them, I remember them, and I redeem them. I honor the struggle. I magnify the obedience done in secret. I gather your faith like treasure because that faith is building a future you cannot yet see. Trust me. Trust the process. Trust that the soil that feels barren today is the very soil from which new life will bloom, from which rivers of purpose will flow. You are not alone in the wilderness. I am right here with you, walking step by step. I carry you when you falter. I strengthen you when you feel weak. I whisper truth when doubt screams. I pour peace into your chest when fear tries to suffocate your hope. I place my hand over your heart and say, peace, be still, not just to your storm, but to the storm inside of you. I am closer than breath. I am more constant than the sunrise. Though you may not see the end from where you stand, I see the full picture, and it is glorious. Let your daily life reflect this lesson. Be still before me, not just in your body, but in your heart, your thoughts, and your ambitions. Carve out sacred silence, moments where my voice can rise above the noise. Fast from what dulls your spirit, the constant noise, the scrolling, the voices that do not echo me. Be intentional about your gaze. Turn your eyes to things eternal. Embrace the hidden season as holy, as set apart, as the sacred classroom of my spirit. This is not time wasted. This is time invested. Use this time not to run or escape, but to anchor yourself deeper in my presence. Train your soul to wait with hope, to listen with reverence, to move with wisdom. Open my word and let it read you. Let it shape your desires. Let it prune your motives. Worship not just with your lips, but with your patience, with your integrity, with your trust, with your consistency when no one sees. For those who are faithful in obscurity will be trusted with visibility. Those who listen in silence will one day speak with my authority. And those who remain with me in the shadows will shine with my glory when I call them forth into the light. They will emerge not just seen, but proven, tempered like gold, sharpened like steel, and ready to walk in the fullness of the greatness I designed them for. And that greatness, my child, will not glorify man. It will glorify me through you. Chapter 2. Purity precedes power. You desire my power, but do you also desire my purity? You ask me for blessing, but do you allow me to cleanse what is blocking it? You long for increase, but do you permit the pruning? I search the hearts of my children not to condemn, but to refine, to sift through what is superficial and draw out what is eternal. I am not looking for performance. I am looking for surrender. Before I promote, I purify. Before I entrust, I transform. I will not send you into battle with armor that is compromised. I will not place a crown on a heart still entangled with pride. When I sent my prophet Isaiah, I first touched his lips with fire, a symbol of both judgment and cleansing. When my son walked this earth, his hands were clean, his heart was pure. He carried no hidden offense, no unrighteous agenda. He walked in my will completely. That's why he walked in authority. My authority flows through those who are aligned with my heart. You cannot carry the weight of my glory if you carry the weight of unconfessed sin. You cannot represent my kingdom while hiding your idols, because light and darkness cannot occupy the same space. So I say, come and let me wash you. Do not hide behind excuses or delay. Come openly. Confess freely. Release the hidden things that fester and sabotage your calling. Let me cleanse the corners you've shut me out of, the grudges, the pride, the compromise. Let me purify your motives, your dreams, your relationships, your ambitions. This is not punishment. It is preparation. This is not rejection. It is refinement. I will not withhold from you what you are ready to steward. But I love you too much to bless you beyond your maturity. In your daily walk, invite me into your thoughts. Let me interrupt your routines. Let me speak into your choices. Examine what you consume, what you watch, what you hear, what you allow into your soul. Guard your words, for they reveal the state of your heart. Speak what edifies. Worship me not just with your mouth, but with your lifestyle, with integrity when no one sees, with humility when your name is praised, with generosity when it costs. Purity is not perfection. It is devotion. It is a single-hearted pursuit of me. A heart that beats for me alone will burn with a power the world cannot quench. A light the enemy cannot extinguish. A witness that shakes strongholds and awakens the weary. This is the kind of vessel I desire to pour through, one that is emptied of self and filled with my spirit. Chapter 3. Your identity must be rooted in me. Greatness without identity becomes a curse. The world tells you who to be, chasing applause, titles, and fleeting recognition. It offers mirrors made of distortion and metrics that change with every season. But I did not design you to be shaped by the voices of culture. I crafted you in the image of eternity. I defined you by my covenant, not by popularity or the opinions of others. You are not who the world says you are. You are who I say you are. And who I say you are is eternal, unshakable, chosen, and dearly loved. When Jesus was baptized, before he performed a single miracle, before he healed the sick or taught the crowds, I declared over him, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." That same love, full, fierce, and unwavering, is over you now, not because of what you have done, but because of who you are to me. Before your gifts ever made room for you, before your name was known to others, I knew you, and I delighted in you. If you do not know who you are in me, you will live constantly striving to earn what I have already freely given. You will exhaust yourself trying to prove your worth instead of resting in it. You will chase significance rather than walking in it. But when your identity is rooted in me, no rejection can derail you because your foundation is immovable. No success can inflate you because your worth is not inflated. It is infinite. You will walk with unshakable confidence, not rooted in human affirmation, but in divine confirmation. Not because you believe in yourself, but because you believe in me, your Creator, your Father, your Defender. So pause each day and return to my voice. Let me remind you of who you are, not just once, but again and again, until it becomes the foundation you live from. Let my word anchor your soul like a rock in the midst of crashing waves. When the tides of culture try to pull you into confusion, distraction, or despair, let my truth become louder than your doubts, louder than the lies you've believed, louder than every voice that tries to redefine you. Open your heart to my whispers, not just in moments of prayer, but in the quiet hours of the day, in your thoughts, in your steps, in your stillness. Learn to recognize me in the ordinary, to hear me even in the silence, and to feel my presence when no one else is near. Let every breath be an invitation to abide. Let every moment be an altar. Stop searching for validation in broken places, in people who do not see you clearly, in titles that cannot hold the weight of your identity, in achievements that were never meant to define you. The world cannot give what only I can. Its affirmation is temporary, but my approval is eternal. My child, I made you. I formed you. I see you in your entirety, your pain, your passion, your potential. And still, I love you fully. I define you not by your mistakes, but by my mercy. I define you not by your past, but by the promise I placed inside you. And when you walk in that truth, you walk in power. Not human strength, but divine authority. Not performance, but peace. You walk not as one searching for worth, but as one crowned by heaven. Chapter 4. Obedience unlocks doors no man can shut. You pray for open doors. You long for breakthrough. You cry out for favor, for movement, for signs that I am making a way. You plead for progress, for release, for opportunity. But I ask you, do you obey me when no one is watching? Do you follow my voice when it leads you to the unseen places, to the choices that cost you something deep, to the sacrifices that make no sense to those around you? Obedience is not glamorous. It often feels quiet, overlooked, and forgotten by the world. It does not come with applause or instant rewards. But in my kingdom, obedience is everything. It is the weight that tips the scales of heaven. I do not weigh your life by your popularity or how many eyes are on you. I weigh it by your faithfulness when no one is looking. I promote the obedient, not the impressive. I open doors not for the ambitious, but for the faithful. My favor flows not where ego reigns, but where humility walks hand in hand with trust. Look at Abraham. When I called him to leave everything familiar, his country, his relatives, his father's house, he obeyed. He stepped out not knowing the full picture, only trusting my voice. He did not know where he was going, but he trusted who was leading. When I asked him to offer Isaac, the son I had promised him, the son he had waited for, he obeyed again. That kind of obedience moved my heart and changed the course of history. Abraham didn't wait until it all made sense. He didn't demand a guarantee or a detailed map before acting. He moved at my word. He believed that my promises were greater than his understanding. And that belief turned into a lineage of legacy. This is what I long to see in you. Not perfection, not performance, but a willing heart. A heart that says yes without delay. Do not wait for full understanding to follow my instruction. Obey even when it costs you. Obey when it's quiet and no one sees. Obey when it's hard, when it breaks something in you, when it feels like you're losing. Obey when no one claps or notices. For that is where my favor rests, in hidden faithfulness that trusts me in the dark. Every act of obedience writes history in heaven. What seems small to you, a whispered prayer, a kind word, a quiet act of forgiveness, resounds like thunder before me. I see the tears you hold back as you choose to trust. I see the decisions you make when temptation calls your name. I see the private moments of surrender, the yeses no one hears, and I mark them in eternity. Obedience builds altars that I will visit with fire. Obedience moves mountains that cannot be moved by effort alone. If you will walk in radical obedience, I will walk you into places your talent could never take you. I will entrust you with things you never imagined, not because you earned it, but because you followed me where others would not. So start today. Ask me what step to take next. Don't wait for the whole staircase. Just take the step I show you. Ask not for comfort, but for clarity. Ask not for ease, but for endurance. Follow through with faith. Do not delay when I speak. Do not reason yourself out of what your spirit knows is right. Silence the voices of doubt, the arguments of fear. As you obey, watch me shift what man said was immovable. Watch me part seas and flatten mountains. Watch me unbolt what no human hand can open. For when you walk in obedience, you walk in alignment with heaven's power, and nothing on earth can stand in your way. The path of obedience may be narrow, but it is paved with miracles. And if you keep walking, you will see what I promised come to pass in ways greater than you dared to dream. Chapter 5. Faith is the foundation of everything I build. Without faith, it is impossible to please me. Faith is not a feeling. It is not wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is not a crutch or a fallback plan. Faith is the confident trust in who I am, especially when you cannot see the outcome. It is the unwavering belief that I am good, I am present, and I am able, even when circumstances contradict what your eyes can see. Faith is the currency of heaven. It is the substance that activates my promises. It is what moves mountains that effort alone cannot budge. It is what silences fear that logic cannot explain away. Faith is the fire that burns through doubt and paves the way for miracles. Look at my servant Noah. I told him to build when there was no rain, when the skies were clear and the ground was dry. He was mocked, misunderstood, and isolated, but he obeyed. Look at my daughter Mary. I told her she would carry a savior, though she had no husband, no reputation to shield her, no explanation the world would accept. She surrendered. They didn't wait to understand. They believed me. That is greatness. Greatness trusts me when the math doesn't add up, when the timing seems wrong, when the world calls it foolish. Greatness doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It moves on my word alone. I am calling you to prepare in faith, to rise even when you feel weak, to believe even when you feel broken, to build before you see the flood, to speak before you see the result, to sow before you see the harvest, to take the step before the bridge appears. Trust me not because of what you see, but because of who I am. I have never failed, and I will not start now. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I am faithful to the end. In your daily life, feed your faith with my word. Let it become your bread and your anchor. Fill your heart with my truth until it overflows in your speech, your decisions, your posture. Surround yourself with those who remind you of my promises, not those who stir up fear, but those who stir up faith. Speak life, even when you feel uncertain. Declare my truth louder than your doubt. Act in trust, even if your knees shake. Walk as though what I promised is already on its way, because in my realm, it is already done. Faith is how you reach into the invisible and pull it into the visible. That is the walk of my children, those who live not by sight, but by faith. Chapter 6. Endurance builds eternal strength. You ask how long? How much longer must you wait? Must you endure? Must you fight? How much longer must you walk by faith and not by sight? But I tell you, endurance is not punishment. It is preparation. It is the sacred furnace where strength is purified and faith is proven. I am not withholding from you. I am strengthening you. Every moment of waiting is crafting within you a resilience that comfort could never provide. Endurance is the soil in which unshakable faith takes root. It is in the waiting that your trust is stretched and your character is forged. In the hidden places where no one applauds, I am growing in you the foundation of greatness. Without endurance, your roots stay shallow. Without it, You cannot carry the weight of the purpose I've placed within you. For the calling I've given you is not light. It requires roots that reach into eternity. Look at my servant Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, forgotten in prison, and yet he held on. He endured not because he saw the full plan, but because he trusted my hand even in the darkness. Even when every door seemed shut, he remembered my promises. And in due time I raised him up, not just to be blessed, but to be a blessing. He became the answer to a famine, the salvation of a people, and a reflection of my faithfulness. Your story is no different. I am writing a legacy through your endurance. Every tear, every trial, every setback is part of a holy unfolding. What feels like delay is divine choreography. What seems like silence is a setup for glory. So remain. Do not flee the fire. Do not abandon the process, even when your emotions beg you to escape. Stay planted where I've placed you, even when everything around you tells you to run. Let your roots dig deep into my word and my presence, not shallowly but fully. Until you are grounded in truth, no storm can uproot. Cling to me when the way is unclear, when the answers don't come, and when your prayers feel like whispers into the wind. When others walk away, remain faithful. When doors close, remain hopeful. When the path ahead seems lost in fog, trust that I am lighting the next step. When nothing seems to move, know that I am moving within you, chiseling something eternal out of your persistence. Endurance doesn't just survive, it builds. It cultivates resilience that doesn't just carry burdens, but conquers them. It strengthens what is eternal and silences what is fleeting. It shapes champions in the shadows, not in the spotlight. Let me use every moment, every tear, every waiting hour, every silent ache to fortify what is eternal in you. Let me train your hands for war and your heart for worship. I am equipping you not just to endure, but to overcome with grace and with fire. In your daily life, choose patience over panic. When deadlines loom and expectations rise, breathe and remember that my timing is never late. Choose the stillness of trust over the chaos of haste. Trust that I see every detail, every burden, every outcome before you ever take your next step. Choose hope over resignation, hope that looks beyond the temporary to the eternal, hope that clings to my promises when circumstances shift. Choose joy over bitterness, joy that springs not from perfect conditions but from my unchanging presence. Choose perspective over complaint. See what I am doing instead of focusing on what hasn't happened yet. Choose to look up instead of around, because what you see around you can deceive, but what you see in me never fails. Let your gaze be fixed on what is unseen, for that is where my glory dwells. Strength is not proven in ease, but in perseverance. Strength shows itself in the decision to stand when falling would be easier, to love when you're hurt, to speak truth when it costs you. It is shown in the decisions made when no one watches, in the prayers whispered when no one hears, in the love extended when it's not returned, in the forgiveness offered when you've been wronged. It is in returning to me again and again, choosing me again and again, even when you're weary, even when you're misunderstood, even when you don't have answers. I honor your return. I meet you in the repetition. And I am building in you a strength that hell itself cannot break. A strength that does not shout, but stands. A strength that does not boast, but endures. A strength that doesn't rely on external validation, but is rooted in my eternal truth. A strength that smiles in the storm, prays in the prison, and worships in the waiting. A strength that stands in the silence with unwavering peace. This is the strength that carries my glory, the kind that transforms atmospheres and heals the broken. This is the strength that releases my goodness, not just for you, but through you. And this strength will reveal the greatness I planted in you from the beginning, because what I am preparing in you is not momentary victory, but eternal purpose. Purpose that will ripple through generations, echo in heaven, and glorify me forever. Chapter 7. Honor invites heaven's attention. In a world that glorifies self-promotion and entitlement, I call you to something higher: honor. Not the kind of honor that seeks recognition or applause, but the kind that reflects heaven. Honor is not weakness. It is strength under restraint. It is the posture of my Son. When he walked the earth, he honored me in everything. He honored people even when they did not deserve it. He honored the broken, the forgotten, the despised. He knelt to wash feet. He listened with compassion. He lived with reverence and humility, and heaven moved through him. His authority was amplified by his honor. Honor is not about people deserving it. It's about you living from who I created you to be. It's about choosing to see others through my eyes, not through the lens of offense, hurt, or pride. Honor is not a reaction. It is a choice. It is a daily discipline. It is a decision to respond with the character of heaven rather than the impulses of the world. It means stepping away from revenge, gossip, and resentment. It means embracing humility when your flesh craves vindication. When you speak with honor, you reflect my heart. When you live with honor, you build an atmosphere that welcomes my presence. You position yourself for my favor. I resist the proud, but I pour out grace on the humble. And honor is the gateway to humility. It dismantles pride. It silences entitlement. It uproots selfishness and plants selflessness. It breaks the back of arrogance and opens the door to wisdom. It reminds your soul that I alone sit on the throne and that your purpose is to serve, not to be served. Honor your parents, not because they are perfect, but because I use them as vessels to carry you into the world. Honor them with patience, with prayer, with presence. Honor is not agreement, it is acknowledgement. Honor your leaders, even when you disagree, for honor does not mean blind obedience. It means reverent regard and intercession. It means you pray for them instead of slandering them. Speak life even when correction is due. Seek peace even when tensions rise. Honor those who can give you nothing in return, for when you do, you honor me. When you lower yourself to lift another, you rise in my kingdom. My Son knelt to wash feet. Do the same. Let your words be gentle, not sharp. Let your eyes be clear, not clouded by judgment or self-righteousness. Let your posture be low before me, for true honor begins in the heart. You are not lowering yourself. You are lifting my presence. You are becoming a living altar where my spirit dwells. You are cultivating an atmosphere where heaven touches earth, where peace rules and pride cannot take root. You are breaking cycles of dishonor and replacing them with my divine order. Live each day as a steward, not as an owner. Everything in your hands is borrowed from me. Your gifts, your time, your resources, all entrusted to you for my glory. See every opportunity as a trust, every person as a treasure, every task as sacred. Even the mundane becomes miraculous when offered in honor. Serve with excellence, not for recognition, but because you serve me through your diligence. Let your private integrity outshine your public image. Let your hidden life reflect your highest love. Speak with wisdom that brings peace, not noise that stirs division. Use your words to build, not to tear down. Let your speech be seasoned with grace and truth. Walk in the awareness that every action echoes in eternity, that each moment carries weight beyond time. Live like your life is a sermon others are reading. When you carry yourself with honor, heaven notices. The angels lean in. I lean in. I draw near to the reverent. And I reward what is done in secret, not just with blessing, but with legacy. A legacy that will not fade. A legacy that will outlive you. A legacy that glorifies me through you. A legacy that opens doors for others, plants seeds of righteousness, and establishes pillars of peace for generations yet to come. Chapter 8. I am your provider, not the world. You've looked at your resources and feared. You've measured your bank account and panicked. You've stared at your lack and assumed I was distant. But I am not limited by your numbers. I am not confined by economies or outcomes. I am your provider, your source, your sustainer. I fed Elijah with ravens. I brought water from a rock. I rained manna from heaven in a barren wilderness. I multiplied oil for a widow until her jars overflowed. Do not measure my ability by your reality. Do not calculate my faithfulness by your forecast. What is impossible for man is the starting point for me. When my son multiplied the loaves, he did not ask what was missing. He blessed what was present. He took what was in the hands of a child and turned it into a feast for thousands. That is what I am asking you to do. Bring what you have, even if it seems small. Bring your last, your little, your leftover. Bring it not with fear, but with expectation. Place it in my hands and watch what I do with it. What you call not enough becomes more than enough when touched by my hand. Provision begins not with abundance, but with trust. It begins with a shift in focus from what you lack to who I am. It begins when you stop looking at the emptiness of your jar and start lifting your eyes to the fullness of my presence. You don't need more. You need me. You need my wisdom, my timing, my direction. Trust that I see the full picture, including the needs you haven't yet encountered and the solutions you haven't imagined. Trust that I know what you need before you ask, and that I delight in providing for you. Not reluctantly, but joyfully, as a father who loves to give good gifts to his children. Trust that my provision is perfect in timing and tailored for your journey, not your comparison. I supply in ways that match the calling I've placed on your life, not the expectations others place upon you. My provision is precise. It doesn't come early or late, and it doesn't miss the mark. I know your path better than you do, and I provide what is necessary to carry you from glory to glory. Each day, thank me for what I've already given. Let your gratitude be the rhythm of your life, the tone of your thoughts, the fragrance of your worship. Gratitude is the door through which provision walks. It is the soil in which miracles grow. Sow where I tell you to sow, even when it doesn't make sense. Sow kindness, sow forgiveness, sow generosity, and watch how I multiply it back to you. Save when I tell you to save, even when the world says spend. Resist the pressure to chase fleeting things and follow my whisper toward lasting treasure. Give when I prompt you to give, even when it feels like you don't have enough. When you place what is little in my hands, I breathe my breath upon it. My economy is not scarcity, it is supernatural. My kingdom is one of overflow, not lack. I am not trying to take from you. I am trying to lead you into overflow. Not just overflow in finances, but in peace that passes understanding, in purpose that anchors your soul, in testimony that shapes generations, in influence that spreads light in darkness. I want to make you a well that others drink from, not a container that constantly feels empty. I want to make you a fountain that flows with my life and my love. trust my provision, for it flows from my heart, and my heart never runs dry. It is a river that refreshes, a stream that nourishes, a flood that lifts everything it touches. Let me be your provider, and you will never live in fear again. Chapter 9. The battle belongs to me. You are fighting battles that are not yours to fight. You are exhausting yourself trying to control what I never asked you to carry. You're carrying burdens that are too heavy, wearing armor that does not fit, and trying to win wars that are already under my command. Let go. The battle belongs to me. I never asked you to win by striving. I called you to win by trusting. I never meant for your strength to be the foundation. I am your strength. I am your strategy. I am your shield. When David faced Goliath, he did not trust in his size, his armor, or his strategy. He did not rely on logic or worldly preparation. He trusted in my name. He ran toward the giant with nothing but a sling and a declaration of who I am. That is where victory begins. Not with weapons, but with worship. Not with control, but with surrender. Not with performance, but with presence. The battle is not won in the natural. It's won in the spiritual. And it is not won alone. It is won with me. I have gone before you. I have cleared paths you haven't walked yet. I have silenced threats you never heard. I am behind you to protect your steps, to redeem your past, and to uphold your story. I am beside you, not as a passive observer, but as an ever-present warrior. The enemy may roar, but I have already declared the outcome. I do not lose. Victory is not about your strength, it's about your position. Stand firm. Stand in me. When you stand in me, the enemy cannot stand against you. You are not standing alone. You are standing in the power of heaven. Stop rehearsing the worst-case scenario and start proclaiming my promises. Fill your mouth with my word, not your worries. Speak to the mountain, not about it. Call down heaven, not disaster. Praise me in the middle, not just at the end. Praise turns your posture from fear to faith. Worship shifts the atmosphere and opens the way for victory to manifest. When you let me fight, peace enters your heart. Joy returns. Strength is renewed. You were never meant to carry the sword alone. Let me fight for you, and you will see what only I can do. Chapter 10. Prepare for greatness. Now, my child, you know what this journey has been about. You've been tested in fire, stretched in silence, grown in faith, and purified in purpose. You've walked through valleys where your only companion was my promise. You've stood in places where surrender was your only strength. You've battled discouragement with praise and disappointment with perseverance. You've learned to trust me when you couldn't see, to obey me when it cost you, and to believe me when it looked impossible. And in doing so, you've been shaped for something eternal. Greatness is not a moment, it is a process. It is the daily dying to self, the continual becoming, the sacred refining that forms my image in you. It is learning to trust me in obscurity, to obey me in the waiting, and to keep your heart tender while walking through fire. It is becoming more like me in every season, every struggle, every step. It is forged in secret places, through lonely prayers, quiet obedience, and invisible faithfulness. It is proven in public moments, but it is rooted in hidden surrender. The greatness I speak of is not for fame, but for impact. It's not to make your name known, but to make mine glorified. It's not about applause, it's about alignment with my heart. It's not about reaching platforms, it's about touching souls. It's about carrying my presence into dark places and being a vessel of light. So now, arise. Walk boldly, not in your strength, but in mine. You are not who you were. You have been transformed by fire, by truth, by obedience. The process has forged you. The trials have strengthened you. The silence has deepened you. And what I have placed inside you is ready. It is not immature. It is mature. It is not incomplete. It is full. It is alive. It is sacred. And it is necessary. The world may not be ready for it, but I am. Heaven is watching. Creation is groaning. The earth is waiting with eager expectation for my sons and daughters to arise and reflect my glory. This is not just about you. It is about what I want to release through you. It is about your life becoming a river of revival, a beacon of hope, and a channel of breakthrough for others. Go with courage that overcomes fear. Go with fire that ignites hearts. Go with humility that carries power. Go with vision that sees beyond what is into what could be. Go with my word in your mouth and my spirit in your soul. I am sending you not just to live, but to lead. Not just to succeed, but to serve. Not just to shine, but to set others free. You are not walking into the unknown. You are stepping into fulfillment. You are not entering as a spectator. You are rising as a vessel of divine purpose. You carry something this world desperately needs. You carry me. This is your moment. The moment that generations before you have prayed for. The moment that trials have prepared you for. The moment that your faith has fought for. The moment that all of heaven stands still to witness. Prepare for greatness and step into it with me. For I go before you, I walk beside you, and I will complete every good work I have begun in you. My child, arise. This is the beginning of what we've been building all along.